shake his hand.
Nice
First time
talking to
we've
you
met
on
the phone. Thank you so much for what you did. Beautiful, wonderful. Yeah, but you did. I know. Thank
you. I'm Adam Jardy with the Dispatch. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On a day like this where there's so many people here to see you and there's so many things being celebrated, what is a highlight for you on a day like today?
Being with family and friends. It's the highest honor I've ever gotten in my life. I've had the honor to play on some great teams with some great coaches and great teammates, but to be honored like this is beyond what my dreams would ever be. So I'm thrilled and excited. Couldn't be more overjoyed and thankful.
When you saw the tarp eventually make its way off the statue, what did that feel like to see it in person and to hear the ovation and to be there?
Well, it was very, very touching. The sculptor who is right here right now did an unbelievable job. He said it was the most difficult statue he's ever done because there was so much detail in the ball at the top of my fingertips, and I was so happy to see it, and so happy that my family could unveil it. That was very important to me.
What's your favorite part of the statue?
The pose, the position. I love the hook shot. It was my favorite shot. I practiced it countless hours, thousands and thousands and thousands of times. I tried to shoot 5,000 shots every day as a boy. It takes a long time to do that. And we had a lighted court at night I could shoot on, and so that was my favorite shot by far. And it's different. It's different shooting a jump shot than anything else. As I've told several people, when you're shooting a hook shot, and not a jump hook, but one you lift from your side, but they don't shoot it anymore. It's unguardable. I don't know why they quit shooting it, but it's totally different than flipping the ball with your wrist because it just rolls off of your fingers. You don't ever flip a wrist when you shoot it. So that's a very important pose to me.
You always had a height advantage, but that shot you can get off against people that were even
Well,
taller
I
than
wish
you.
I had always had a height advantage. I played against players 7'6", 7'4", I played against a lot of big players, but it was unguardable. I mean, it really was. I mean, you'd see pictures of me. As a matter of fact, the picture that this came from, a 7-footer was guarding me, and he was at least 2.5 to 3 feet from the ball. I mean, because I took a step away and lifted it, and it just was impossible to reach it.
Is it the Cincinnati Center, Jerry?
Yes, it was. Paul Hogue.
You noted your wrist is bent there?
My wrist is not flipped here. My wrist is not bent. It just rolls off of my hand, on the end of my fingers. Yes.
Steve, question.
Yeah, Steve Howag, Bucknuts.com. I know you talk about being an unselfish player, and the guys that you played with, a lot of them were here. Obviously, two of your best teammates and closest friends over the years, Bobby Knight, John Havlicek, not no longer with us. Just that whole group and that whole collection of people, just how special was that group of people?
Oh, it's an unbelievable group of people. We started friendships that lasted for a lifetime. They were all very gifted and very talented. I think as a team, I think our grade point average is 3.5 or 3.6. So they were great people, good students. I loved them all, and it was very important to me. You mentioned unselfishness. It was very, very important to me to be part of the team. Everybody always said I should shoot more. I had a friend who was here today named J.B. Deaton. He always said to one of my teammates in high school, he has a heavy accent, he said, "Why don't you pass the ball to Jury more?" He said, "I do. Every time he misses it, he tips it in, and that's an assist." So, I had a penchant to going and getting the ball. That was my favorite part of the game, was rebounding. I studied it unbelievably. When I came to Ohio State, we practiced blocking out every day. And one day I asked Fred Taylor, our coach, I said, "I want to talk to you." He said, "Okay." I said, "If you don't mind," I said, "I don't mind. I'm going to do everything you tell me. I'm coachable, etc." But I said, "When the game starts, I'm never going to block it." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Why should I go find some 7-footer who has no idea where the ball's going, and when I know exactly where it's going, I'm going to go get it, and we're going to be going the other way." And so he said, if you can do that, do it. And that was, I just studied it so much. And I missed shots on purpose for 8 hours in a row some days. I imagine there was a clock on the top of a rim. And I'd miss them on the inside of three to make them bounce that way, and the outside of three to make them always watching where the ball is going and why. And every time I saw any other player shoot a shot, why did that happen? Where is it going? What did he do? What was the arc like, etc. So I developed almost a software in my mind. And I knew where the ball was going, and so I didn't waste my time to block out. I just went and got it. But if I was playing against Will Chamberlain or somebody like that and we were close to the basket, naturally I blocked out.
Better block him out.
You better block him out when you're close. But if it was far away from the basket, there was no way I was going to do that.
Let's just do a few more questions. Let's go. Any game.
I'm sure it's hard to pick just one. Just your favorite memory playing here.
Oh. Well, I guess my favorite memory playing here is winning the national championship. I mean, what could be better than that? And we were young. There were 3 sophomores that started on the team, and all the players were great players. They all went on to play in the NBA, and so it was a great team. I don't think it's ever really gotten its just due. But winning the national championship, you can't do better than that in college as a basketball player, and that was my best memory by far.
Where do you think you mentioned it growing up, but where do you think your fixation on literacy, at the alphabet, on arranging?
Well, I had a junior high school teacher named Nellie Losh in 7th and 8th and 9th grade. She was my homeroom teacher as well as my English teacher. She instilled in me a love of language and love of the English language. And that's probably where it started, where it really began. And I've done so much work on education, it's unbelievable. The world really doesn't know all about it. But as I said today, I'm continuing to work on getting my literacy course prepared so it can be used in websites to make an incredible difference. If I have children with me, let's say there were 100 children here and none of them could read and write, I would say to them, how many of you know what a dog is? Every hand's going to go up. How many know what a cat is? Every hand's going up. Tree, car, bus, whatever. All the hands are going to go up. But then you ask them about intangible and abstract information, very few, if any, hands will go up. God's given us an incredible ability to store pictures in our mind and recreate them. But a problem in education is there are no pictures to store. Everything is abstract, letters, numbers, words, symbols. And I've spent my life giving identities to all of those.
We'll go with Gabe and then Mike.
Gabe Baker with the Lantern. Jerry, what does it mean to you to be a Buckeye?
Well, I mean, being a Buckeye is extraordinary. I'm an Ohioan. I came to Ohio State you heard some of the reasons there today. I refused to be recruited when I was in school. I wanted no part of it. I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want, I had heard about so many youngsters that had gotten in trouble and had problems. I just wanted to live a normal life the best I possibly could. And so I refused to be recruited. So I didn't have the problems that a lot of young people did. And I heard about Ohio State. I heard about some things. I was in a position where I could talk. I talked to Coach Fred Taylor once and talked to him, and he mentioned education to me and not sports, which was very important to me. I came here on an academic scholarship, not a basketball scholarship. I didn't want a sports scholarship. I was a student, athlete, not an athlete who was a student, vice versa or whatever. But I came here on an academic scholarship, and I applied myself, and I was a straight A student, and learning was easy for me. By that time, I had developed memory systems, and it was fun, simple, and easy for me. And by the way, John Havlicek was the first person that ever lived who knew I spelled alphabetically and did memory things. I never told anybody. My parents, my brother, my best friends, my teachers, I just did it. Just like I was as a young basketball player, I went out there and I did it. I practiced 12 hours a day, using my mind. And why shoot a shot if you don't know what the purpose is? For instance, kids go out today and they just fire balls up. They don't know what's happening. Well, you need to know what's happening. But I haven't come back to your question yet, I will. So being a Buckeye is very, very important to me because it's a family. It's a huge family, but it's family. And family is important to everybody. And everybody who is a Buckeye loves Ohio, loves the Buckeye State. And I'm just so thankful that I came here because was one of the great experiences of my life.
Finish up with
Chair, I know you had a medical scare earlier this year.
Yes, I had a bad year this year.
I want to ask you how you're feeling. And
Well, I feel better today than I've felt in quite a while. I wonder why. Because God is good. And He allowed me to feel well for this special day of my life. I have some problems with my heart. It races and we don't know why. My cardiologists don't know why. It's hard for me to walk places because my heart speeds up so much and I don't feel well at all. But, and that just started about 3.5 months ago. I was doing well, progressing back from having some prior problems. And, but we're going to get it worked out. I still have a lot of work to do.
and how do you feel from the neck up?
Excuse me?
How do you feel?
Oh, from the neck up.
Spiritually?
From the neck up, I feel great. I mean, my mind still works well. I can still memorize a 100-page magazine. I can meet 400 people, remember their names. And God loves me. And that's the end.